Have you ever looked into someone's eyes, seen them smile, nod, even tell you they're proud of you, but deep down, there was an uneasy feeling, a faint whisper in the back of your mind? They're not being sincere. You can't prove it. There was no betrayal, no argument, no specific mistake, but something still feels wrong. Part of you wants to believe them. Another part is taut as a string, warning you to stay alert. What you're feeling isn't an illusion. It's intuition. It's the most primitive warning system of humans, pre-existing even with language, designed to protect you from non-verbal threats. Some call it a hunch, but Carl Jung called it the shadow, the other side, buried in the depths of every human soul. It doesn't come through words, but it comes through averted looks, cold hugs, and silence when you need a word of encouragement. The darkness doesn't strike you with a dagger, but with a look. It doesn't make you bleed, but it makes you confused, tired, and doubtful of yourself. That's when you start to realize not everyone around you is inside. Some are there just to keep you down. Some laugh when you fall but say nothing when you soar. They are there, but not really present. They hear, but don't listen. They talk, but don't feel. The thing is, you can't point your finger at them and say, "This person is hurting me," because they've done nothing wrong. They still smile, they still text, "Congratulations." They still show concern, but you sense the fakeness. You sense a void, something cold, invisible, creeping between the words. And that's why most of us don't recognize masked hatred, because it's not there like a slap, but like a gentle breeze. You don't fall, you don't get hurt. You just slowly lose strength, like a slow poison, not making you fall, but making you weak, losing fire, losing faith in yourself. The most dangerous enemy is not the one who screams at you. It's the one who smiles silently, cheering you on towards the abyss. And in this video, I'll take you deep into that darkness. Chapter by chapter, you'll discover 8 clear signs that someone close to you secretly doesn't want you to succeed. It's not that they don't like you, it's that they hate you. Hate wrapped in good wishes, jealousy wrapped in fake concern, manipulation disguised as advice. We often think of hate as obvious, the name-calling, the cold shoulder, the overt acts of hostility. But no, the most subtle form of hate is the conditional kindness, the tapped shoulder, the good-for-you advice that makes you shrink back from your dreams. It's the manipulation that doesn't require shouting, but just whispering at the right time. It's when you share an opportunity, and the other person pauses for a beat before saying, "Yeah, that's great." But each of the signs that are about to be mentioned is not just theory. They are the hard-won experience of many people who have been fooled by a warm smile. People who have given their all, only to feel empty when they succeed, because they realize the person next to them doesn't really want the best for them. They just want the other person to stay in a lower position, easier to control, less threatening to their ego. And I'll be blunt, this truth is not easy to accept, because sometimes the person who brings darkness is the person you've been through storms with, the person who has wiped your tears. Someone once said, "I'm always here for you." But the truth is, some people are there for you when you're weak, just to feel stronger. And when you start to stand tall, they start to get scared. Not because you've changed, but because your growth exposes their stagnation. You can't keep living in an illusion. The truth may hurt, but lies are killing you. This isn't about hating them or completely alienating them. It's about choosing how you give your energy, your trust, your sharing. Because your light isn't meant to shine on those who are just waiting for you to go out. It's meant to be kept for the journey ahead, for those who are truly there for you, who are truly there to lift you up when you need it, and who are truly happy when you shine. Now you'll get to the first part, the seemingly harmless jokes, but in fact, the little stabs that are drawing your blood every day. Here we go. 5 camouflages of hate. When the enemy disguises as a family one, funny jokes, stabs wrapped in laughter. Have you ever heard someone say to you, "Oh my gosh, you've gained weight again? Just kidding. Don't be angry." Or is this considered success? Haha, come on. I was just teasing you. These are not jokes. They are linguistic daggers, sharpened by intimacy and wrapped in so-called fun. These people know very well what you are insecure about: your appearance, your education, your background, your past failures, and they will choose that point to joke. The trap is, if you react, you will be labeled as sensitive, not knowing how to joke, overdoing it. And they get away with it, being the funny one, and you being the serious one. But make no mistake, jokes are meant to be fun for everyone. If you fake laugh, and they genuinely laugh, it's not a joke, it's contempt legitimized by laughter. Carl Jung once said, "Everything that annoys us in others is an opportunity to understand ourselves." But these people refuse to understand themselves. They use you as a place to vent their insecurities. They feel inferior, so they attack what you have in the most humorous and forgivable way possible. And you just keep going, enduring, silently, until one day you don't know whether you should feel hurt or not. 2. Accidental forgetting. When omission is a strategy. Have you ever asked someone to remind you of an important appointment and they forgot? Have they ever promised to send you a piece of information that would be helpful for your work and then forgot? Or are they the ones who were supposed to be there for the biggest moments of your life, but forgot? Once, maybe, twice, 3 times, you start to realize repeated forgetting is a choice, not an accident. It's a kind of silent sabotage, hidden behind the facade of "I meant well." These people don't stab you in the back. They hug you, look you in the eye, say sweet things, but then they drop the important stuff, the little details that determine your success. Why do they do this? Because deep down, they don't want you to surpass them. Your progress is a reminder that they're standing still. They can't stand that. And the easiest way to hold you back is to forget for you. 3. Silent competition. When every win turns into a backfire, you share a piece of good news, a promotion, a new product, a client's praise, and the first thing you get in return is a story about their success. No wow, no congratulations, no real hug, just, "What a coincidence. I just got nominated too." They don't argue with you. They don't put you down publicly. But in every response, there is an implicit comparison. Every joy you share becomes an excuse for them to say they are just as good or even better than you. You didn't invite them into a competition, but they do it quietly, proactively, and repeatedly. It's a manifestation of a lack of inner acceptance. Carl Jung called this the shadow self. When we refuse to look at our own inadequacies and instead turn the success of others into a threat to counterattack. The silent competitor doesn't need a trophy. They just need you to not have one. 4. Soulless kindness. When congratulations are a performance, there are people who always say the right words. "Congratulations, I'm so proud of you. Wow, you did so well," but you feel something very strange. There is no life in their eyes. There is no vibration in their voice. There is no light in their energy. You realize they don't hate you, but they are incapable of feeling true joy with you. They say what they should say, but they are not present. Carl Jung called this ego separation. When people lose the ability to connect with genuine emotions, they may be victims of trauma, emotional numbness, or simply have lived in an environment of comparison and competition for so long that they are no longer able to see the pure joy in others. Their absence in important moments is not just about appearance, it is the absence of true affection. 5. Control through care. The soft necklace. Be careful, I think this project is a bit risky. Are you capable enough? I only say that because I love you. I am afraid you will be hurt. Such words, at first, sound very kind. They seem to come from a place of love. But the scary thing is, they make you shrink, make you doubt yourself. And every time you hear them say it, your dreams get a little smaller. This is one of the most dangerous forms, manipulation disguised as care. They don't need to force. They just need to sow doubt at the right time. They make you believe that you need them to make decisions, that you are weak and they are strong, that without them you will fail. Carl Jung once warned, those who cannot control the chaos in their hearts seek to control others. They are insecure, so they want you around, but only if you stay small, always need them, and you, afraid of losing them, gradually lose yourself. All of these forms of hidden hate have one thing in common. They do not use strong actions, but use small doses, just enough to make you not suspect, but enough to make you start to withdraw. The most sophisticated manipulation does not come from strangers, but from the people you once trusted the most. And the most painful thing is not that they hate you, but that they pretend to love you while silently pushing you back, little by little. Soon you will discover the next part. Why do some people stay by your side when you are weak, but withdraw as soon as you are strong? The answer will lie in the darkness that your success unintentionally illuminates from them. There is a paradox. Some people can accompany you in your darkest days, but cannot be there when you start to shine. You hurt, they wipe your tears. You fail, they comfort you. You lose your way, they show you the way. But when you have a little success, you suddenly notice that they disappear. No more eagerness when you share. No more sincere encouragement. No more presence like before. The support that used to be there is now only a memory. And you wonder, have I changed? Or are they the ones who have changed? The truth is, no one has changed. Only the light is stronger, and the darkness in them begins to reveal itself more clearly. When you are at rock bottom, you are harmless. You are a part of their normal. Your presence does not hurt anyone, does not cause anyone to compare, does not stir anything in them. But as you start to climb the ladder, you're no longer the same person in their eyes. You start to become a mirror of what they're missing. Silent jealousy doesn't manifest itself in anger. It doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be violent. It just needs to be absent at the right time. Silent for long enough, or a lukewarm response when you share something you truly value. You talk about a new project. They say, "Oh, I was thinking about doing that, but I was too busy." You tell them about a small accomplishment. They mumble, then change the subject to them. Every time you climb a ladder, they step out of the light. Not because you've abandoned them, but because your growth forces them to look at themselves, and they find it unpleasant. Carl Jung once said, "The shadow grows larger when the light grows stronger." That's more than just a psychological truism. It's the harsh reality of any relationship. When one person starts to outgrow the other, Not everyone is mature enough to see someone else achieve what they dreamed of. Not everyone is brave enough to be genuinely happy for someone who has overcome the pain they've seen. And not everyone is loving enough to congratulate you when they themselves are feeling stuck. So they take the easy way out, play the busy one, the absent-minded one, the uncaring one, to avoid having to face the jealousy that's throbbing inside them. They won't be negative. They're simply not there when you need to share joy. No more laughter from the heart. No more eyes that say, "I'm so happy for you," and you feel it. It's painfully obvious. You thought success would bring people closer together, but then you realize success doesn't just lift you up. It also filters out those who aren't strong enough to stand by you without feeling small. One of the clearest signs that someone is secretly jealous of you is when they don't show genuine joy for the good things that happen to you. They don't need to jump up and down. They don't need gifts, parties, or supportive posts. They just need a sympathetic look, a heartfelt congratulations, a simple but warm hug. But if those things become difficult, if their eyes look away, if their voice drops instead of rising, then jealousy is there, even if they never say it. Jealousy doesn't need words. It lies in the silence, hidden behind short answers, flowing with the silence that lasts when you shine. The more successful and at peace you are, the more you will see who is truly happy with you, and who is only happy when you are in the dark. Not everyone has the inner strength to maintain a fair friendship when the scales start to tilt in your favor. And here is a truth you need to face. Not everyone who was there for you when you were weak will be there for you when you are strong. Some people can only love you when you need them. When you start to not need them anymore, they don't know what to do with you. Support when you fall is precious, but support when you stand up. That is the true measure of a healthy relationship. If you are feeling more and more lonely as success comes, don't be sad. It's not because you did something wrong. It's because your light is gradually separating you from those who are no longer in tune with you. The darkness inside them doesn't hate you. It just can't stand the light you carry. And you can't stop, just because they choose to stay in the dark. Next, you will discover the non-verbal language, the one that cannot be pretended, hidden, or hidden from your intuition. It is when their body speaks what their mouth tries to hide. A truth you will never know after seeing it. Words can lie, gestures can't. Words can be practiced, eyes can't. A handshake can be acted, but the body never lies. Have you ever heard someone congratulate you, say they're proud of you, but felt a chill down your spine? There was no specific reason, no clear evidence. They did everything right. Sweet words, the right attitude, kind behavior, but the energy didn't match. And you felt like you were listening to a play. That's because your intuition was listening to something your ears weren't listening to. Body language. And this is your most powerful tool for discerning the truth. In situations where words are just a mask, remember the body is the mind's most loyal traitor. When someone is holding back jealousy, envy, or hatred, their body unconsciously responds. They may say, "Congratulations," but the mouth is stiff. The lips are curled to one side. The eyes are not looking directly at you. That is not an acting mistake. It is an instinct to leak the truth. There are 4 groups of body expressions you need to pay special attention to. 1. The eyes, where the soul refuses to hide. People who are truly happy for you will look into your eyes when they congratulate you. They will look longer than usual. Their eyes are warm, deep, and rhythmic. On the other hand, if they look over your shoulder, down at their phone, or avoid eye contact, that says more than any congratulations. In particular, If you share something that makes you happy, and they blink repeatedly, looking away as soon as you finish speaking, it is a signal that they are self-regulating. In other words, suppressing negative emotions that they do not want you to detect. 2. Face. The smile fades before it even begins. A real smile lasts longer than 2 seconds, crinkles the corners of the eyes, and stretches the entire face. A fake smile is different. It's only on the lips, fading before the eyes have a chance to say yes. It's stiff, flat, and almost like it's been programmed. When someone says, "I'm so happy for you," but their face is enduring a long speech, you don't have to wait any longer. Their body has just said what their mouth is trying to deny. 3. Distance and body orientation. When a person feels connected, they tend to lean toward you, keep close, and open their body, arms uncrossed, feet facing you. When they feel jealous, envious, or uncomfortable, they'll lean back, slightly turn their body away, or create distance with objects, holding a glass of water between you, holding a phone as a barrier. These reflexes are unconscious defensive instincts that occur even when they are not aware of their discomfort. The body once again speaks out what the mind is trying to hide. 4. Reaction time. The moment of truth. You just shared that you got your dream job, or got a promotion. The person across from you smiles, says, "That's great, but a beat too late." That slow moment is the time it takes for their brain to process the news, feel bitter, and then try to react correctly. The person who is truly happy for you reacts almost immediately, not because they are good at reflexes, but because the joy is genuine. The half-second delay is sometimes when the fake sets in. And you, the person who once doubted your own feelings, begin to realize you are not suspicious. You are just listening to a language that you have been taught to ignore all your life. Carl Jung once said, "The subconscious always says what it cannot contain, through actions, not words." Body language is how a person's true self comes out of the mask they have worn for so long. You don't need to be a non-verbal analyst to feel it. You were born with this ability. The problem is that you have been taught by society to ignore it. Because it's polite, because you shouldn't read into things, because you have to believe what others say. But you are no longer in the stage of living to please anyone. Now is the time to listen to yourself again, to trust your first feelings, to trust the subtle movements that other people's bodies are transmitting to you, no matter how well they try to hide it with words. Hate doesn't need to be spoken. It only needs a wrong look, a cold hug, a step back when you are moving forward. And you feel it, because you are human. And humans have the ability to perceive truths that words can never reach. In the next section, you will be guided to respond intelligently, calmly, and strongly when you discover that people close to you are gradually turning to darkness, not to expose them, but to preserve your own peace. By now, you may recognize a few faces. People who used to confuse you with the strange energy they brought when you told them something positive. People who were there for you when you were down, but started to drift apart when you were up, inauthentic. Congratulations, unfunny jokes, cold, friendly gestures. The question is, what should you do when you find yourself surrounded by fake concern? The smart response is not to attack, nor is it to corner the other person, because fakes often leave no clear evidence. You can't accuse them of hating you, because they will always have an excuse. "I was just joking. I was busy. I was just worried about you." You don't need to win a war you never signed up for. What you need is protect your energy without losing your self-esteem. 1. First, don't be quick to accuse. Observe longer. Finding someone who has signs of secret hate, doesn't mean you have to cut ties immediately. The first thing you should do is take a step back and observe, not to judge, but to understand. Is this a personal, emotional moment or a recurring pattern? Ask, does this person often deny what I'm proud of? Do I feel relieved or tense when I'm around them? Are they like this only with me? Or do they do it with others? A longer observation helps you avoid knee-jerk reactions and allows your intuition to work in silence. Intuition doesn't shout, it whispers. Listen. 2. Set soft boundaries. Don't attack, just redirect. If you're sure about the signs, instead of exposing them, choose to reset the boundaries. No need to be harsh. You just need to change how you present yourself to them. Before you shared details about your upcoming project. Now hold back. Before you invited them into life milestones. Now refine. Before you let them play the role of advisor. Now you can choose to listen, but not follow through. Boundaries don't have to be silence or a breakup. Boundaries are about giving control of your emotions back to you. And the magic is when you change the way you respond, they reveal their true colors faster than ever. People who truly love you will respect that change. People who just want to control you will start to get annoyed. 3. Stop explaining me's, because people who want to understand you don't need it. One of the biggest mistakes you can make when you start to suspect someone is not being sincere, is trying to explain it to them. You expect them to see how hurt you are. You think if you speak honestly enough, they will change. But you forget one thing, they already know what they are doing. They know their jokes make you sad. They know their advice makes you falter. They know their eyes are blank when you succeed. They don't need you to explain. They just need you to continue to be patient. Meest, so they don't have to face the truth. Stop explaining is your way of declaring, I know myself well enough that I don't have to ask anyone for permission to be happy, to be successful. Focus on real connections. Nurture supportive relationships. Instead of trying to save relationships that are secretly broken, start rebuilding your circle. Spend time with people who feel light when you shine. Don't compare, don't avoid, don't dominate. Rejoice with you without any reason. You'll be surprised to realize just 2 genuine people in your life are enough to overcome a whole society full of masks. 5. Ask yourself, am I keeping this person because of love or because of habit? This question, if answered honestly, will help you free yourself from many old relationships. There are people you are no longer compatible with, but you still keep them because of memories, because you have gone through difficulties together, because you are afraid of being lonely. But you forget loneliness in a fake relationship is more cruel than loneliness when you are alone. Choosing again is not betrayal. It is a necessary step of maturity to protect your own mind, emotions, and future. You do not need to prove anything. You do not need to win a conversation. You do not need to make someone admit that they were not true to you. Those things are not true, because the person who truly loves you will never make you guess. Peace does not come from pleasing everyone. It comes from stopping at the right time, with the right person, because no one can keep you small if you have learned to walk alone with your head held high. Then you will come to the final part, where we no longer talk about darkness, but start talking about light. How you choose yourself again, choose your journey again, and start a new life. No more wearing a mask, no more waiting for someone to clap your hands, because you are enough to clap your hands for yourself. There is a moment when no one is watching. There is no applause. There is no stage. There is just you, sitting quietly alone, and you finally choose to stop trying to please people who are not sincere. That moment is when you begin to grow up. You no longer seek validation from those eyes that once looked at you with doubt. You no longer suffocate your dreams to keep others comfortable. You no longer divide your joy into small pieces so that others will not feel hurt. You realize the truth is not in words, it is in feelings. Whoever makes you feel light when you are around them, that is real. Whoever makes you feel confused, doubtful of yourself, that is a signal. And when your body begins to strain to endure a relationship, it is no longer connection, it is a form of self-imposed bondage. There comes a point in your life when you are forced to refine your circle. Not because you are arrogant, but because you are no longer strong enough to continue nurturing the connections built on guilt, habit, or pity. You begin to understand not everyone who has been with you through the storm is strong enough to accompany you on the sunny days. Because when the light comes, it exposes all that is no longer appropriate, both in yourself and in the other person. And that is not a mistake. It is a process. You will learn to love more selectively, trust more soberly, share more consciously, and be present with people who truly make you feel like you. You begin to re-establish peace as a personal power, not as something you ask for permission. You no longer need anyone to acknowledge that what you do is right. You just need to know you are living authentically, not living to play out the script that others expect. Carl Jung once wrote, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to be." And in this moment, you have a choice. Choose to disconnect from those who only know how to drain your energy. Choose to stop telling stories to those who are only listening to compare. Choose to clean up your mind like cleaning a house, a place where you only keep the things that make you feel warm. If someone has walked with you for a while and then left, don't blame them. If someone has been sincere but then turned into a fake person, don't resent them. They came as a part, they left as a lesson. You don't need anyone to commit to staying forever. You just need yourself to be strong enough not to be lost when others turn their backs. Because from now on, you don't live to be chosen. You live to choose. Choose for yourself. Which voice do you want to hear every day? Which energy do you allow into your life? And which version of you is worth your time and trust? Emotional freedom is not loneliness. It is a state when you stop living based on reaction and start living based on choice. And the biggest choice you can make right now is choose yourself. Not a selfish self, but a healthy self. Not to shut out the world, but to stop giving your heart to people who don't know how to keep it. When you stop trying to maintain broken relationships from within, you don't lose love. You just start creating space for real connection to come in. This is not the end. This is the beginning of a new you, Mart, quiet enough to listen to yourself, sober enough not to be manipulated, and brave enough to move forward without applause from others. And if you are on the threshold of change, remember, you are not alone. You are not lost. You are on the right track. The silence you feel right now is not emptiness. It is the precious space where everything truly begins to grow.